Imagine you're on a sightseeing cruise having a relaxing holiday at sea. Everyone is quiet, dining in the restaurants, children playing on the slides and adults eating something in the restaurant, when suddenly and unexpectedly, a massive wave 98 feet high as tall as a 12-story skyscraper arises out of nowhere and smacks the cruise ship sideways. The strike is heard as a bang with an enormous mass of hundreds of tons striking the metal. This massive wave does not sink the cruise liner, but it does do major structural damage, smashing glass, knocking down doors, and soaking most of the ship's interior. Following that, a second wave of equal size approaches slowly, like a massive mountain of water. If it hits the cruise ship, it will be the end. Although this sounds like something out of a science fiction film, it is a real-life occurrence. It's not a tsunami, but something even more destructive and unpredictable, a monster wave, also called a rogue wave. Do you want to know more about this intriguing phenomenon and why they are so dangerous? Join us and find out. Monster waves are massive and unpredictable waves that come unexpectedly and without notice. They are very harmful to ships and isolated sea structures such as oil rigs, lighthouses, and weather stations. Unlike tsunamis, rogue waves are not caused by earthquakes. On the contrary, its origin is even more mysterious, and it is still being researched by scientists today. It should be noted that, while they share many similarities, rogue waves are not tsunamis. The latter are massive bodies of water generated as a result of seabed disturbances like earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Furthermore, tsunamis are often harmless in the open sea because bodies of water travel slowly. Tsunamis are especially deadly near coasts because they strike bodies of water and wreak widespread harm. Monster waves, as the name implies, are large, autonomous waves that erupt abruptly in a small region and only impact boats or open buildings. Rebel waves, unlike tsunamis, which can be predicted because they usually come after an earthquake or volcanic eruption, are utterly unpredictable, making them extremely dangerous. What constitutes a rebel wave or monster wave? Rogue waves are much larger than the waves in their surroundings. For example, imagine a ship cruising in an area where the waves are on average no higher than 16 feet. And then a 49-foot wave arises and crashes head-on into the boat. That wave can be classified as a rogue wave because it is 3 times the size of the surrounding waves. Monster waves are distinguished from typical ocean waves by their extreme height and unexpected character. Often these waves arrive unexpectedly in relatively calm ocean conditions, surprising boaters and posing a serious threat to vessels. Most vessels are unprepared to handle such high waves. Offshore and during a storm, waves can reach 26 to 29 feet or 8 to 9 meters. Rogue waves can reach up to 99 feet high, which is equivalent to a 12-story structure. Sailors' stories. Although it may appear novel, monster waves have appeared in nautical literature in a variety of stories. Captain Jules Dumont d'Urville, a French scientist and naval officer, reported waves reaching 108 feet in the Indian Ocean in 1826, accompanied by 3 companions. Nonetheless, his fellow scientist François Arago publicly mocked him for describing a wave of such magnitude as totally inconceivable. At the time, it was widely assumed that no wave could exceed 30 feet in height, hence no one believed scientist Jules Dumont's statements. However, author Susan Casey backed the scientist's opinion, stating that much of the incredulity regarding the maximum size of waves stemmed from the fact that very few people had experienced a wave of that size and lived to tell the tale. For centuries, maritime legends of the high seas have spoken of the existence of much larger waves, real monsters up to 99 feet tall that could appear unexpectedly in the middle of the ocean against the current and the dominant direction of the waves, often in perfect atmospheric conditions. According to sailors' reports, such waves were like a massive wall, practically vertical, or a massive mountain of water that erupted unexpectedly. A ship encountering a wave of this magnitude had little hope of survival due to the immense pressure of more than 100 tons per square meter, sinking it in seconds. One of the most transcendental accounts on the issue comes from an essay published shortly before Europeans arrived in America. The King of Portugal encouraged the previous voyage. The monarch resolved to investigate the lands neighboring Africa. So he dispatched a crew of 3 ships with the orders to discover as much as possible. They didn't expect to be met with a storm and what seemed to be a monster wave during a layover on the Atlantic Ocean islands. The Baron of Rosmethil, a member of Alfonso V's court, wrote, "Suddenly there appeared waves as great as mountains that seemed to reach the clouds, whereupon everyone felt a terror as great as if the day of judgment had come, for they knew there was no way of escape." For years, the scientific community disputed sailors' reports, arguing that mathematical models indicated that waves greater than 15 meters high were so unusual that they occurred once every 10,000 years. This was because, according to the mathematical calculations used to model waves based on a Gaussian shape, in a stormy sea with waves 39 feet high, the model suggests that a wave greater than 49 feet would be rare and a wave of 98 feet could occur once every 10,000 years. For years, scientists, meteorologists, and oceanographers calculated and agreed that this was a reasonable approximation of reality. Nevertheless, sailors disagreed. Monster waves in history. Throughout history, various events have been related to massive waves that cause immense destruction, some of which include Eagle Island Lighthouse, 1861. Water shattered the glass of the structure's east tower and filled it, signaling a wave that topped the 130-foot cliff and wrecked the 85-foot tower. USS Memphis, August 29, 1916. An armored cruiser formerly known as the USS Tennessee was destroyed while stationed in the port of Santo Domingo, killing 43 people. Witnesses who survived said the boat was sunk by 3 waves, the greatest of which was believed to be 70 feet high. SS Edmund Fitzgerald, 1975. It was an American ship that sank in Lake Superior during a storm, killing all 29 of its crew members. Initially, the Coast Guard blamed the catastrophe on water penetration into the hatches, which eventually filled the hold and caused the sinking. Still another ship, the SS Arthur M. Anderson, which was closely following the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, was hit at the same time by 2 rebel waves, and possibly a third, giving reason to believe that the SS Edmund Fitzgerald was sunk by the blow of one or more monster waves. MS Munich, 1978. Lost at sea, leaving only scattered debris and evidence of sudden destruction by a wave over 66 feet tall. Although more than one wave was undoubtedly involved, this is the most likely sinking caused by a massive wave. Ocean Rangers, February 15, 1982. It was a self-propelled, semi-submersible mobile marine drilling device. On the night of February 15, 1982, Ocean Ranger reported rough seas with waves 55 feet high and occasional waves up to 65 feet or 20 meters. This resulted in the entire structure sinking into the Atlantic Ocean at 3:07 a.m. The whole 84-person staff was slain. For years, hundreds of tales from various witnesses appeared to confirm the obvious. Waves higher than 20 meters existed and many individuals had survived them. However, the scientific community was unable to locate any evidence of them other than sailors' experiences and anecdotes. However, this has altered dramatically with the advent of modern technology. In 1984, a rogue wave was recorded on the Gorm Shelf in the Middle North Sea, providing the first scientific evidence for the existence of giant waves. In reasonably calm conditions, a 36-foot high wave was reported at this location. However, what piqued the scientific community's interest was the digital detection of a rogue wave on the Dropner Shelf in the North Sea on January 1, 1995. This event was dubbed the Dropner Wave. It sparked intense debate in the scientific world since it was the first time in history that very exact measured data was gathered from what looked to be an 84-foot or 25.6-meter wave height. As a result of this measurement, other scientists began planting sensors on buoys all around the world, and gradually, they began to compile a record of waves over 65 feet tall in all of the world's oceans. As a result, we now know that rebel waves exist and are a regular phenomenon not only in the world's seas and oceans, but also in vast lakes like those in the north of the United States. How to forecast them? Nowadays, rogue waves are regarded as a widespread event rather than a sailor's tale or legend. Professor Ahmediev of the Australian National University claims that there are 10 rogue waves in the world's waters at any given time. Some researchers believe that approximately 3 out of every 10,000 waves in the oceans become rogue. However, in certain areas, such as coastal inlets and river mouths, These monster waves can account for 3 out of every 1,000 waves, as wave energy can be concentrated in smaller spaces. However, despite our increased understanding of these monster waves, we are unable to forecast them. Scientific research attempting to explain the genesis of these waves offers a variety of theories, ranging from interference from distinct wave systems absorbing energy from the surrounding waves to the effect of the seafloor on the waves. However, there is still no consensus on how or why such massive waves originate. Will one of this channel's subscribers uncover the mystery? Rogue ocean holes are another mystery caused by the same phenomenon as monster waves. As you might expect, they are diametrically opposed to rogue waves. They are locations where the water's depth can be much greater than that of the surrounding area, similar to a type of local abyss that happens in a part of the ocean. Rogue ocean holes have been duplicated in studies with water wave tanks, but their presence in the real world has yet to be proved, despite reports from boaters. Could rogue ocean holes also exist? Would you like us to create a video on this topic? Tell us what you think in the comments.